So most of us have recently experienced the time change. At the very least, we've experienced the days getting shorter, and winter is approaching, late fall and into winter's coming our way. And what I've noticed about myself this year, even more than most, is there's a little bit of an uneasiness, and a little bit of a worry is like, uh-oh, are we going into another COVID winter? Because last winter I ended up being pretty isolated. I was living by myself, and it was like, uh-oh, I don't want to do that again, is what I've been feeling, and so now part of this, of course, is natural. And my tradition with the medicine wheel or the wheel of life, we call the winter time, we call it the time of introspection, because what happens is, when in the summer, when the days are long, there's light, there's lots of light, and we're naturally looking out, and seeing things. It's external. We're out, we're doing things. It's summertime. We're traveling, and things are more focused on looking out. And as the days get shorter, our visual reference or scope kind of starts coming in. The days are shorter. It's dark more. So we're in a way, we're not able to, visually, we're not able to look out as much, and we're kind of sitting with ourselves more, and there's a lot of good to this. It's a time that we can reevaluate our life. We can feel some things that we may have been distracted from with our busyness and activity of the summer. And there's a lot of value to be had. So what I started doing, probably in my nervousness or even, my fear, is I started like reaching out more. It's like, uh-oh, I better start being a little more social here. It's not time to be, isolated, Mike. It's time to get out and get in. So I started doing some things. I started going to some yoga classes. I'm in a meditation group, and I started, getting out in the world more. And what happened is I found some things, even regularly, like on Monday nights, I go to a yoga class, and I found myself with some, almost like a winter schedule, if you will. And it really kind of just eased this nervousness or this uneasiness, eased the uneasiness. And because it's just like I'm seeing now, almost proving to myself that I can go through this winter without being isolated. I can still, and now I can still get the value of the introspection. There's still going to be long nights where I'm sitting by myself, and I'll still get the value of that time of introspection, and I'll get to feel deeply and reevaluate and, sort out what's working and what's not working. And, I'll still get that value, but I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to be isolated, which is kind of nice, and now I'm much more, welcoming of winter coming in. It's like, I can do this, and it seems like, you never quite know with COVID, but it seems like we're going to get to interact a little more than we did last winter, at least at the time that I'm speaking this. That's how it seems. You never know what's going to happen. And I really like, when you can, COVID, willing, I really like the personal interaction. Like the Zoom has been great, right? I mean, I do sessions on Zoom, I do meetings on Zoom, we do meditations, I'm part of groups. It's wonderful. But there's nothing that quite replaces like the personal interaction, that live interaction where you're in each other's presence. You could even, maybe possibly have a hug, and it just is like you're in there, you're in each other's presence, and you're like having this live interaction. You get the full, body language, and everything's there, and we gotta, I really think that's irreplaceable, and it's a really vital part of being human, and being part of a community. And so what I'm gonna do, and what I'm suggesting that maybe you consider doing as well, is seeing if you can't, again, I want to respect your beliefs around COVID, and how I certainly want you to feel safe, and and that you're following your own safety protocols. But if you can, with that in mind, I mean, if you can have some interaction, even beyond your family, if you can have some safe interaction, I think it would go a long way from, I'm coming from like the emotional, like, perspective. Maybe not as much the total health perspective, but the emotionally and spiritually, that live interaction. I really miss like doing retreats when we used to do these workshops and, doing ceremony together and meditation. Hopefully we can bring that back, in the spring, because that's where the good work happens. Well, good work happens on Zoom as well, certainly. And we do Zoom workshops and Zoom sessions and sharing circles, and that's great. But, there's nothing that quite, replaces that interaction and that being with friends and breaking bread together and being part of a community and laughing and smiling and playing board, whatever you do, seeing movies and being in each other's space. So anyway, that's what I'm intending to do this winter as much as I can. I mean, I'm even a bit of an introvert. It's amazing, even being an introvert. I'm like coming out a little more, it's like I'm not going to be a total introvert this winter, It's amazing what a little loneliness, can do. So, it is a time that loneliness can set in, and so please, reach out, make sure you've got some family and some friends and some community to interact with so you can, enjoy life with someone, We used to say in my tradition, that human beings are herd animals, we're not meant to be alone. So find your herd, find your people, and enjoy yourself this winter. And for the holidays, and again, be safe, but as much as you can, enjoy yourself with your people. So anyway, that is my video for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome week and that you're able to interact and be out in the world and enjoy each other's company. And I will see you in a week.